fantasy, caught in a landslide, no escape from reality.
Hey guys, what's going on? Underground Geek here. So I want to talk to you about something here. You might be wondering by the title, you know, what I'm trying to talk about. Well, I want to talk about Spider-Man 2099 and the recent run that they just had a while back that just got canceled. I think it was like issue 12 or something like that. And how this was a failure by Marvel with diversity. You know, Marvel before Alonso got kicked out really between like 2015 and now really went hardcore in the SJW diversity lineup. They went full force, all cylinders firing towards diversity. They tried this thing to get a market that just wasn't there. They tried to get a diverse market, and they ended up being exclusive instead of inclusive. When you go smaller towards a smaller bracket, you end up making less money. It's kind of weird how that works, huh? If you go towards a wider market, you make more money. When something makes up like 1% of the of the human population, it's probably not smart to do it. But anyway, so I'm a fan of Spider-Man 2099. Now, I'm not a hardcore fan, but I'm a fan. My first kind of door opening experience into Spider-Man 2099 was the TV show when it came out. I think it was in the late 90s when that show came out. And it was kind of a mess compared to the regular Spider-Man, which a lot of things are. If you look at X-Men 2099, Hulk 2099, they take one character and they kind of do a spin-off on it. And sometimes it can be really good, and sometimes it can be kind of eh. But it ends up usually paling in comparison to the original character. But, you know, I liked Spider-Man 2099. When the TV show came out, I really liked it as well. It was just a fun show. Excuse me. And it was a fun character. The costume was cool. The abilities was cool. He was a lot like Spider-Man. The bad guys were new and different, but the same. You had Venom. You had Green Goblin. You had all these people. And the show now is a little bit different than the comic book, of course, because, you know, you have a different Green Goblin character that's more of a friend in the show later on than an enemy and all that kind of stuff. But they came out with this run of Spider-Man 2099, and all of the covers were cool, and it was kind of like Batman Beyond. I mean, you know, and it just didn't do very well. They didn't promote it that well. SJW Marvel in general didn't do very well. Sales went down, and eventually they canceled it. They canceled it, and they kept titles like America, which really just boggled my mind. Here was your chance for a diverse character, and you just killed it. You just let it fall into the wayside, and it just disappeared into oblivion. And when they did the series, the comic book series, not the TV show, they ended it just like you would when you're canceling a series. They wrapped it up in one issue. It's done, over with. Now there's two, and like I said before, I kind of feel bad because I really like the series, and they really just to go back to what I was saying, they really just they cheap shotted him, because the issue ended and basically they said everything you did didn't matter, and you're never going to be with your girlfriend again because we're going to fix the timeline, but okay, bye, and then just ended it. I was like, okay. And Spider-Man 2099 was a very diverse comic book, because not only was Miguel O'Hara Irish Mexican descent, but also you had little people in it. You had midgets, things like that in the comic book, which, you know, of course they've been in other comic books, but they were like main characters. You know what I mean? His girlfriend was, one of his friends was in the new run. I mean, they kind of tried to do everything, and then they failed at it. They failed. It wasn't there, and then they just let it die. And I feel really bad because I like the character. But for you people that don't know, there's actually two different Spider-Man 2099s. There is the one that was in the comic books before, and then there's this new one, which they call the Prime Marvel Universe, where they kind of retconned his history. kind of like they did in the new Star Trek movies. Somebody basically messed with the timeline and it altered the events that happened from then on. Kind of like they did in Batman Beyond in this recent run. Things got messed up and the future changed and you had a different Batman for a little while. It's kind of the same thing. But let's go over the history of Miguel O'Hara. Of course, he's an engineer of Irish and Mexican descent. He worked for a company called Alchemix. And if that reminds you of anything, it's the same company that's giving the drugs to Venom right now to keep his symbiote together. He was, you know, he didn't have complete control over the company. He didn't like it. He was a genius in the field of genetics. I don't know why everybody's got to be geniuses, but he was. He was being pressured by his boss to test the process to imprint genetic codes into human physiology, basically making another spider serum. And he tried it on somebody that failed very bad, and it altered them, you know, in gross ways, and they died. So then at that point, he pretty much wanted out, and Stone did not want to have anything of it. You know, Stone's kind of, I don't know if he's the one of the descendants of the Obadiah Stone, but it probably is. But he drugs Miguel with a extremely addictive drug called Rapture, and the only way that Miguel could get rid of it was to test the serum on himself, and they even sabotaged that to try to mess with him, but it ended up working and giving him spider abilities and several powers, and he lost his addiction to Rapture. And so then he basically goes on a run, and he's able to get his costume, which is a Day of the Dead costume, and pretty much takes up and becomes Spider-Man through events in his life. And it's a very fun story. I like it. He fights new bad guys. He kind of finds his way. He has an AI system named Lila, yeah. And so then it just becomes this fun little adventure, you know what I mean? And the thing is, it's a very cool character, and I feel like that, you know, it had its niche and does need to be given attention. So then they changed things. They had this new Miguel O'Hara, which is from Earth TRN 5888, and know that does not mean that he's a stormtrooper for the New Order. But things changed. So it says, after some glitches in a time stream, things change in unspecified circumstances, and his whole future is altered. It says that many events similar to what happened still occurred, however, because he still meets the current Spider-Man. And his future, Nueva York, which is New York basically, was plagued with numerous time distortions due to Wolverine accidentally breaking the space-time continuum. Thanks, Wolverine. And after he found out how bad it was, he headed to his enemy's base, the Alchemix Corporation. He discovers the distortions was originating from the past in the heroic age, which would be the current age, and somehow it's causing Tyler Stone, the old boss, to fade from existence. So he tries to help that. You know, things change. Basically gets to the company, becomes very successful, and then you have all the situations that come from that. And my thing is, like I said before, this was your opportunity. You have a clean slate, you have a new history, you have a new chance to do things, and it just fell. I liked it. I read it. They had the new Captain America, which was like this woman that could change her size to bulk up to become Wonder Woman, had a force field space age shield. Things like that was very cool. You had this new league of Sinister Six that was attacking him. I liked it. I thought it was fun. You had a futuristic Punisher that rode around on like a space cycle. It's awesome. And like I said, they just killed it. I don't think they understand what real diversity is. They want surface level diversity. They want to hire people that look like or have beliefs like they think that the characters have. They want to hire a black girl to do Riri. They want to hire a fake Latino to do a fake Latino America. They want to hire these people because boobs. They don't hire people on merit, and these characters suffer because of it. Um, I just don't get it, guys. I don't get it. But I really just wanted to, talk about this and get my thoughts on it. I really like this character. I think it was a chance to do something, and they just let it go. Like I said before, they don't care about diversity. They just want it on surface level. They want to bring in a group of people with the right club members and the right cliques, and it didn't work. And because of that, like I said before, the characters have suffered. And out of 100 books, probably 30 of them have been canceled this year. I mean, it's absurd, and I think we need to do some changes. Hopefully, CB Cebulski will do that. He's already got a lot of things on the chopping block. He's doing it right now because he's just canceling books, and he's not really getting rid of that many people, so to speak. So I don't know. Maybe we'll get a new book, a new Spider-Man 2099, coming up pretty soon. I think they're doing X-Men 2099, so maybe they'll do another one-shot of this, and then people will like it and they'll bring it back. But I like Miguel O'Hara, and I feel like he was a good diverse character, because when I watched the TV show as a kid, not once did I think that's a Hispanic Irish kid, because it was not thought of when I was a kid. It was not important. All you cared about was good story, good characters, fun characters, and cool adventures. And now they try to make it all about what my skin color is. And it's funny because that's kind of like what racism is. They're kind of being racist. But anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I hope this video was informative, and I hope it, you got something out of it. But see you guys later. Underground Geek out.